Soccer's world governing body FIFA has formally confirmed Saudi Arabia as host of the 2034 Men's World Cup. The Saudi bid was the only candidate. The decision has been criticised by environmental campaigners as well as human rights groups, with Amnesty International saying it will put many lives at risk. Dr. Naz Mohammed led a campaign against Qatar hosting the tournament, which it did in 2022, and he joins us now from San Francisco. Naz, welcome. So what's your reaction then to this news that Saudi Arabia will host the World Cup in 10 years' time?
Thank you for having me today and for creating space for the conversation. My name is Dr. Naz Mohammed. I am a physician and gay rights activist based in San Francisco. I am an asylum seeker from the nation of Qatar, and I lead LGBT rights in the Gulf states through the Al-Wan Foundation at the moment by helping LGBT asylum seekers from the region and by producing country conditions reporting on the realities of our lived experiences. I have to say that I received the news with mixed emotions, and there are two sides to this. And I know people don't like to side in. We like to pick winners and losers. And the reality is I hurt for a lot of us that are victims of big platforms like FIFA, and for all the pain that will be inflicted on a lot of minority groups and migrant workers as this tournament gets closer to taking place. And at the same time, I feel optimistic for the opportunity to have a spotlight on a lot of issues that otherwise would remain in the dark. And I know that some people that I disagree with personally keep bringing this up as an advantage of having the World Cup in places that may not align with our value systems as a global society. And my answer to that is that, a platform by itself like FIFA is not going to bring change on its own. We are the ones that have to bring the change. And if left unchecked, it can bring more harm than positive influence. And the FIFA World Cup in Qatar was a good example of that.
Okay, well, let's talk about that then. Qatar staged the event in 2022. There was this hope that it could be used as a platform to promote LGBTQ rights in the country, raise awareness of gay rights. Was that then a naive hope? What happened?
Well, the reality for LGBT people in Qatar now is the same, if not worse. So that's the fact to start with. The second issue, it was a moment of crisis for us, because at that moment, we did not have any evidence of what actually happens to LGBT individuals living in the nation. And we were being introduced to it through the lens of the PR and marketing campaign for the World Cup. This introduction and having this piece of information being the only publicly available information challenged the plea of asylum seekers from the region globally. And that was the reason we ended up forming the Al-Wan Foundation and organizing and publishing the reports. But it didn't just happen on its own. It happened in a reaction to what we thought was perceived danger. And right now, so then people ask, was it a good thing or not? Well, I think it was just a thing. I don't necessarily want to label it as good or bad. It was just a thing that we reacted to. And the formation of that entity has led to the most prominent Saudi activist, Tariq Aziz, who was in prison around the time I was campaigning for the World Cup in Qatar, to relocate to San Francisco, file for asylum, and now works with us in the Al-Wan Foundation to continue advocating for LGBT rights in Saudi Arabia.
Well, now that the announcement is made about Saudi Arabia, then, are you going to campaign or start campaigning now for the LGBTQ community in Saudi Arabia? What will you do on this?
Yes, I will be doing this through my foundation, through the Al-Wan Foundation. It's representing the Gulf states because we have very different social norms, if you wish, and different challenges. So the foundation is not only focused on Qatar, but it's focused on the region. And now that I have the most prominent Saudi activists working for the foundation, we have very good reach in the region, and we have a lot of data points that we can draw from to advocate, produce reports, and speak on the issue. We have actually already started speaking on the topic.
Okay. What's Saudi Arabia, the officials there, said on this already? Have they made comments?
Not yet. And like I wanna bring something up. 2 months ago, we were invited by Al Hurra channel to debate officials from the Saudi government and from the Bahraini parliament on LGBT rights issues. And the 1 hour interview in Arabic can be found online. I'm working on translating it to English and publishing it on our website for transparency. But I want to just let you know where the discourse is when we sit down and speak on the issue in Arabic. It starts by debating whether we can say the word gay or not. They disagree and resist using the term gay because they think it's too sympathetic. They want to refer to all LGBT individuals as deviants to emphasize how much they reject that community. They explicitly say we are not accepted by the law, we are not accepted by society, and that will never change. So you can imagine leaving that interview and then hearing them come out in English and say gay fans are welcome was quite shocking because that was not the discourse in Arabic at all. And it seems like they have very separate takes on the issue right now. One is facing to the rest of the world to promote the World Cup and to promote their events and to bring tourists in and take their monies. And then there is the actual view internally and what's being said in Arabic. And they are not in alignment. And one of the things that we're going to be working on is making sure that we're having one conversation globally.